ain't that fucking shit? I'm right fucking here. Ain't that shit? Ain't it great? Ain't it great? Everyone fucking sucks. Except, of course, me. Ain't it great? Ain't it great? Here we go with the live stream of your life. Here we go with some videos. Oh, well, they have commies and degenerates, leftists and faggots. Here we go. Here we go.
There's always a group of people who say you can't do it. And so the system has to change, and they're a victim, and they're entitled. So it's just this one segment of whiners on TikTok or something that pops up because they don't want to face the fact that they got to control the person in their mirror.
Well, he's not wrong. One of the big problems is Gen Z and Gen Alpha, or the millennials and Gen Z. Yeah, here the younger horde want to always blame problems on everyone else.
Financial advisor and Ramsey Solutions founder Dave Ramsey hit a nerve recently after he appeared on Fox Business and accused younger generations who don't own homes yet of essentially being lazy individuals who refuse to work. Here's more.
The truth is that this Gen Z generation and the millennials who caught a bunch of crap are excellent generations. What we're seeing with both of them is there is a segment of them that is very serious and very good with their money. They believe in it. They believe in saving, they believe in investing, they believe in the free enterprise system. And then there's a segment of them that just sucks. They're just awful. I mean, their participation trophy, they live in their mother's basement, and they can't figure out why they can't buy a house because they don't work.
Let's figure out why they can't buy a house. Because Dave Ramsey, tremendously wealthy, okay, good for him. Most people not tremendously wealthy. Most people have not experienced their income.
Yeah, but these people bitch and complain about their jobs and why it's not paying them enough versus, actually, working.
Income keep up with inflation, especially as it pertains to things like housing. There is a severe housing shortage, which leads to the value of homes going up way too much
because of left-wing policies making building a home much more expensive because, God forbid we build anything without the burdensome regulation of government atop it. By the way, there's the link to my book. Common Grievances. Go ahead and buy it.
For young people to afford. So let's actually get into the numbers, all right? First, let's take a look at this fun chart. Okay, this is a chart that was put together by Visual Capitalist using Federal Reserve economic data. And what it does is it shows you the ratio of home prices to income, right? And as you can tell, income has not kept up with housing inflation. You see the green line at the bottom, that represents income. You see the blue line up top where you see a spike, a steep incline in the graph, and that represents.
Then why are my parents able to buy a home? I mean, by even the 80s, the line was out of control.
Median sales prices for homes. So obviously, the value of homes has gone up significantly while income is mostly flatlined, although in recent years we have seen a little bit of an increase.
Anybody who puts the book up for free, I will. Jesus fucking Christ, fuck you. You put the book up, Iron Gullet, I will go after your channel. And I will go after it hard.
In income.
pausing here to deliver some honest truth as we do in our news coverage as well. TYT is facing challenges, guys, as the entire industry is. You know who could make the difference? You. If you hit the join button below, it's going to make all the difference.
Yeah, I'm not going to do that.
And keep us in business. We appreciate you.
You can certainly take your chances. Release my book, unfiltered, without commentary, and I won't stop.
Thank you.
I want to give you another specific
Until your channel is gone.
example. So I grew up in a working class, mostly Latino community, Reseda, California, okay? Homes in Reseda are now like close to $1 million, which blows my mind, okay? It absolutely blows my mind.
Yes, because it's impossible to build in California. It's also in California, you get to pay $0 for a home. You can just go in there and squat. Because of all the squatters' rights. But again, you've made it impossible to build anything in California because of all the fucking regulations you have. You got homes to get richer, or homes to get less expensive. Go back to the days of just you poured a poor Irish guy. You paid a poor Irish guy to pour a foundation and you built a house on it.
Working class community. Let's take a look at graphic 2. So this listing popped up. It was emailed to me. $870,000 for a 1,500 square foot home in Reseda, California, okay? So with the interest rates that we currently have, what do you think the monthly mortgage for a home like that is gonna be?
Probably $3,000, if I had to guess.
Well, lucky for you, Redfin does calculations themselves to give you a sense of how much you're gonna pay every month. So let's look at the next graphic. Okay, so even if I put a 20% down payment, which is a whopping $174,000, that's a lot of money, okay? With a 7.37% interest rate.
On a, oh wait, 800,000.
My monthly
okay.
Mortgage with property taxes and homeowners insurance, nearly $6,000.
Yeah, that's why everyone is leaving California. You need to make $6,000 a month. Yeah. Again, it's impossible to build anything in California. And you have all these stupid fucking programs. This is why I say, who's gonna pay for it? Someone is gonna pay for it.
$6,000. $6,000. Okay.
But all of you are just lazy. That's why you can't afford the $6,000 a month. Just for mortgage, let alone everything else you got to pay post-taxes. So look, here's the thing. I kid around about Dave Ramsey all the time because back when we first started, like 20 years ago, he was actually, we talked to him and he actually helped us around the edges. And so in our experience, off air, he's kind of a good guy, right? So, but what I can't understand about relatively smart guys.
Okay, but here's the thing. If the people had not been lazy and not been stupid, they would have voted against, well, quite frankly, the policies you advocate for. I have a bunch of people in the video I just did on Bernie Sanders where I basically said he's going to cost you a shit ton of money. I have a bunch of hourly workers thinking, no, this just means overtime. No, it doesn't. Your company is just going to basically say, okay, you work Monday through Friday. Now you... Excuse me. Now you work Monday through Thursday. They are not going to give 8 hours of overtime. Again, Bernie Sanders doesn't know what the fuck he's doing because Bernie Sanders has never run a fucking business. Bernie Sanders has been a leech his entire useless, pathetic life. And like I said, it's going to be real fucking hard for me to be mature when he finally does do the world a favor and dies.
Guys like Dave Ramsey is why they can't understand this simple concept.
Actually, I take that back. It's not do the world a favor. It does the world a favor and dies.
The graph that we just showed you. Yeah, housing prices are stratospheric. And yes, compared to our income.
And by the way, that means that seat in Vermont will probably flip red too. I mean, I'm sorry, but Bernie Sanders has done nothing but promote rot, and I fucking hate him. How the fuck do you honeymoon in the goddamn Soviet Union and you're not a traitor? Explain that, Bernie.
And when you were buying a house, it was much, much easier, Dave. Why is it so hard to get that through your head? I mean, look, Anna points out.
Look, I get it. But a lot of the reason why in leftist areas it's impossible for people to buy a home is because of leftist policies that make it impossible to build anything. Bill Maher just bitched about it. It would have cost $100,000, I believe it was, to construct a free toilet. Just one. Because of all the ridiculous regulations and codes and all this other stupid shit that you have to go through in California. That's why, Jank, we need less regulation. Less this, less that. Less under the veil of safety. Because it's funny enough, there are houses that are built in California that were built in 1902. And they've been there through all the riots and all the earthquakes and all this other shit. And do you know where it fucking is? On the same goddamn spot that the poor Irish guy they fucking paid to poured the foundation of. It didn't suddenly sprout legs and run to Montana when an earthquake hit. It's right the fuck where it is. But California has a terminal case of just electing people who are like, oh, we just want to be safe. Just want to be safe. Safety first. Safety this. Fuck you. All you do is make shit more expensive. And honestly, most of it doesn't matter.
Casita prices. You know, you go to different places in LA, and I've seen these things. One guy that runs a mom and pop shop, and how they bought a house in Manhattan Beach in 1967 for $15,000. That house is worth at least $2 million now.
And look, I totally get that in cities like LA, housing is very expensive. And so what you'll commonly hear from people like Dave Ramsey really is, well, just move to another state where housing prices are much lower. Yeah, but the money you make in those states also happens to be much
Oh, Jesus Christ. You can't have your cake and eat it too, bitch.
lower, right? So you have to look at that.
But you also have to be willing to do the work to make your skills valuable in states where, yes, you can buy a fucking home. Okay, bitch?
Income to house prices ratio, and it is a problem regardless of any state that you're living in. If you're lucky and you get to work from home and you can make a lot of money as if you're living in LA, but you're actually living in Mississippi or, you know, Michigan, yeah, you can buy, you can afford a home in that scenario, but not every American is fortunate enough to live that scenario.
Yeah, and we've shown you other charts in the past where our income flatlines, corporate profits go through the roof. These are
Yeah, except the profits go through the roof. So do the fucking costs, Jank. So do the fucking costs. And most of these costs are because of left-wing dickheads that you support.
comfortable stats for people inside mainstream media. That's why they don't share them with
Like Bernie Sanders wants to have the standard work week 32 hours. Now that's fine for you and Anna and probably everyone else on TYT who's on salary, but anyone who's hourly like I am, we're fucked. I want that extra 8 hours. And don't tell me for 1 second that, oh, it'll just mean more overtime. No, it won't. They will literally say, you're at your 32 hours. Bye.
with you. What's easy is to blame younger people and go, it's their fault, when in reality we live under corporate rule and our wages have shrunk and our costs have gone sky high. And what is the result of that? We make less, we can afford less, whereas corporations are now at record-breaking profits, unseen in human history. And that's the part of the story they always leave out.
Thanks for watching The Young Turks. We really appreciate it. Another way.
All right, here's this ghetto bitch.
5 guy, and I know that that isn't for me. And
So she's too good for a 9-to-5 guy.
forgive me if I just want the finer things in life.
Okay, she wants the finer things in life. I have no problem with that. Except, sweetheart, you look like a ghetto ratchet bitch. I could find 1,000 black sluts like you. What's special about you? Why do you deserve the princess treatment?
The finer things in life? So
Yeah.
you're saying that a regular guy cannot give you the finer things in life? Is that what you're saying?
I'm not saying that. Please don't mistake that for a 9-to-5 guy can't give me the finer things in life, and I'm not shallow. So please don't receive that or take that in.
That mean that is literally her just saying yes to the question.
But it's just that I know exactly what I want and what I bring to the table. And
What do you bring to the table, sweetheart? Because already, by the way you're dressing for this interview, I can already tell you just bring me a fucking headache. And I'm also willing to bet the way you present yourself at this table, or in this interview, you're also on OnlyFans, which is a huge red flag, you know, for me, the guy that you want.
I know that I'm bigger than the scheduled 9-to-5 guy.
These women get on OnlyFans and then all of a sudden they're too good for 9 to 5 men. But if she wants a guy who makes a lot of money, it's very likely he's going to be working more.
Well, no, she gets a guy that's worth a fuck. He is just gonna put her in the sex only category. Friends with benefits, sex only, whatever you want to call it. I don't care. But he is he's most likely going to just put her in the sex only category. Now we have this pathetic piece of trash.
To work, cry. I feel like anyone who's in their early 20s, like what the fuck are we doing? We're growing up in a world that's like practically falling apart, and it's so hard to stay positive when kind of.
You're a man. Toughen the fuck up.
Everything's thrown at you. I'm like, also I'm a man, and I am scared to cry.
No, you're not a man. You're not a man until you master your emotions. Now, does that mean that men do not cry? Yes, men do cry. But we usually do it in private. And we reserve it for special occasions. We don't get on our fucking phones about it.
And I'm scared to film, and I'm scared to be vulnerable, but at the end of the day,
Oh my god.
if you're in your early 20s and you are a male or a female or whatever your pronouns are,
Now it
it's
makes
hard.
sense.
But we all make it through. I know that. It's okay to feel things. It's okay to feel emotion and pain and be vulnerable.
So these are the type of men that are produced when they are raised in a world that tells them they need to be emotional and get in tunes with their feelings.
Yeah, God, that's one of the worst things we ever did. Now, ignore your feelings. Again, do men cry? Yes. We just do it privately.
My hamburger currently.
By the way, I have no idea who this person is. It looks like Kristen Stewart from the Twilight Saga. But before we get into that, I have to pee. Why is it that so many people just don't want to spend an afternoon watching lesbians do things with one another? But they all want to come back to me and my news. Anyway, let's get back to this.
is going up to 20 some dollars an hour. Reddit is $25 for a hamburger, a fries, and a soft drink. So imagine you're going into your neighborhood.
Wow, that is actually, because I've gone into my neighborhood pub before and ordered dinner and, you know, a couple of pints, and $28 wasn't where that motherfucker was.
Pub, and your hamburger and fry is now costing you $26.
$26.
I mean, literally, Gavin Newsom, I hope the United States is watching. I hope he never becomes president. This man is destroying California. I don't understand why people can't see that he's the biggest trickster of all time. He literally.
Well, like I said, thanks to the higher fast food minimum wage, fast food is no longer all that affordable. Used to be you spend a couple of bucks at McDonald's, you have dinner. Now you actually have to think about that. Now I want McDonald's. I mean, seriously, it's everybody started pushing for the. Oh, they should pay a living wage. They were never meant to be living jobs, bitch. This is what happens when you allow women into government. Because women always make excuses for their kids' lack of achievement. Only dads actually say, well, did you accomplish anything? Okay, you didn't? Well, then that was a waste of fucking time. This is why women should not, this is why we definitely, most deservedly need to repeal the 19th. Women are incapable of running society. Again, the reason they think that their baby should earn $19 at Wendy's is because they haven't forced their baby to grow up, man up, and get a real fucking job. Quixotic Dragon, there are literally hundreds of jobs that have existed for decades where you were not meant to live off of it. Part-time employment is the quintessential, you're not meant to live off of it. Or it's a side gig. That's why. Nobody that worked at McDonald's except the manager was expected to make a full-time wage. Okay? They were fucking idiot children. And considering the quality of food we get from McDonald's. Anyway. Keep in mind, for those of you that want me on longer, it's 28 minutes in and I'm already bored. I want to go out and cook. Alright, I'm going to switch over to this from the Officer Tatum. Uber and Lyft abandons Minneapolis, which sucks for us because, again, was because Minneapolis is trying to get WrestleMania here. And if they don't have Uber or Lyft, then they're fucked.
after the ordinance passed, both Uber and Lyft said they would stop operating in Minneapolis on May 1st, the day the increases take effect.
Are you really going to leave on May 1st if this doesn't change?
Yes. Y'all see what they did to Lyft? Let's talk about it.
Yeah, especially since the people that work Uber and Lyft don't do it because they want to be paid a certain wage. They do it because of the flexibility, aka they do it when they want to do it. All right? That's what's known as the gig economy. I do it when I want to do it. You want to treat them as employees, well then they will have to submit to a schedule then. Like cab drivers. But what really sucks is you're not going to have enough cabs, and you're going to lose out on a major economic milestone, WrestleMania, because you killed Uber and Lyft. And I guarantee you WrestleMania is going to pass on us by. And I do hate to see that. I do hate to see that. But it will pass us by. Unless you repeal this ridiculous legislation. Or this ridiculous ordinance, or whatever you want to call it, or have a court strike it down as unconstitutional. It's gig work. You do it when you want to. You are compensated as such. If it doesn't work out for you, get a real job.
Let's get into this. Ladies and gentlemen and ladies, see, this is why socialism don't work. This is why the policies of these crazy, liberal, leftist, lunatic cities are literally destroying businesses. These people are mocking capitalism, and it's killing the community. Look at this. In Minneapolis, they want to make a minimum wage. They want to make Lyft and Uber pay their drivers minimum wage. When
Which is just going to make Lyft and Uber leave. Unless their drivers are working a pre-selected route for a pre-selected amount of time, they're not going to do it. They're not going to fucking do it. They're just going to go buy. At least in the city of Minneapolis.
The business structure of Lyft and Uber is almost on a commission base, which means that the more drive...
No, it's totally on commission base. 100% on commission base. You can log in and log out whenever you want. That's why people do it.
The more rides you do, the more money you make, and then people can give you tips and all of the above. You can't sit there and say, you got to get paid at least this amount of money, and then some people ain't doing nothing and others are doing a lot. And so they're trying to enforce this by adding all these extra charges and
yeah, because a bunch of dumb, stupid fucking black twats that don't fucking leave their neighborhood decided this would be a good idea. And they listen to their black cunt college daughters who took Marxism 101.
And per mile.
Oh, and by the way, I really want you to clip that. Fucking clip that. I won't even go after it. Fucking clip it, bitch.
And doing all this stuff to get the drivers to $15 an hour. And they're just going to remove the ride share from an entire city.
Exactly, and I don't blame them. Well, they'll have it in St. Paul. They'll have it in St. Paul. But good luck getting over there, which again kills any chance, aside of maybe the Excel, that we have WrestleMania here, which is again a week-long event of money-making events concerning wrestling. And considering we're the heart of the AWA, or we're the heart of the AWA, you're thinking me a fucking, like, good job, Minneapolis. Good job. Way to fuck Minnesotans out of money.
The people in charge are doubling down on it, and it's insane to me. You know how many tourists go through Minneapolis, and they ain't got no way to get from the airport.
Actually, we don't have that strong of a tourist market. Maybe in the summer, maybe in hunting season we do. But you got to remember, for 6 months out of the year, the Officer Tatum, we're a frozen fucking wasteland. Like, seriously, we're a frozen wasteland. All right.
Because Uber and Lyft have just destroyed all these other industries. Man, ain't nobody finna get in a taxi cab. Man, I would never get in a taxi cab. There ain't no GPS in a taxi cab. Nobody tracking it. You jump in the car, homeboy, take you somewhere, take all your money. You don't even know where you're going. They just drive somewhere. Now, maybe taxi cabs have caught up to the Joneses. I haven't been in one since Uber and Lyft came out. But, man, I don't think it's as safe. There's no database and stuff that you can log into and all this record, and none of that exists. And you want people to just jump into these cars and randomly go somewhere. People aren't taking care of these cabs. It's not like they got nice ones. I mean, listen to these idiots. Let me play the news clip. Roll the clip.
The latest frontline and the battle over fair pay for rideshare drivers.
Also, every single one of those fucking drivers can get a real job.
Is in.
You know, Lyft and Uber doesn't pay to the drivers Social Security taxes and health insurance.
Minneapolis. Uber and Lyft have threatened to leave the city over a new ordinance that sets minimum wages for drivers. As special correspondent Fred DeSam Lazaro reports, it's leading to big.
That was the last pay-per-view here, yeah. Was SummerSlam 1999. There have been some Raws and there have been some SmackDowns here. But, yeah, no. The last major wrestling show was, SummerSlam 1999.
Bigger questions about the state of the gig economy.
I think.
Lifelong Minneapolis resident Matthew McGlory started driving for Uber and Lyft over 7 years ago.
I know exactly where he is.
He loves the flexibility, the chance to meet new people.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's flexibility. This motherfucker doesn't have to drive anywhere if he doesn't want to. He's not an employee. He does it when he wants to do it. That's the trade-off.
And for a while, he felt like drivers and the companies were true partners. But in the past few years, McGlory says, drivers have seen a smaller cut of fares.
Is it fair that Lyft or Uber will charge a passenger $67 and give the driver $23? We're not asking for anything.
Okay. Here's the thing. The cut was fair under Donald Trump's America. The cut isn't fair under Joe Biden's America. That's the difference. The cut was fair before, and it isn't now because of inflation. I mean, your own cut was a third. What should it have been? Anyway, I don't know. I guess I'm just not in the mood to stream today. I'm gonna go out and cook, and I'll see everyone later. Good night, everybody.